this prayer, but he would begin it with, I knew that was going to happen. He would begin it with, devil, you're not going to do this to me. Lord, teach us, as John taught his disciples in the wilderness, to say, Our Father. And then he would go with the Lord's Prayer, and each of us would have to repeat it after him. And then each one of us would have to sit where we were supposed to sit, and then he would say the grace. Now, this was a tradition. This was something that was done every Sunday morning. And we didn't carry it on because there were no other males in the family, so that a male did not carry it on. And of course, as females, we didn't carry it on. But that was a tradition. I remember you gave us a tradition, the Thanksgiving, and then you brought up about the wine, which we were about to talk about, which we talked about anyway last week. All right, so we were talking about a tradition by a group of people. Do you all remember the name of those people? Who were they? Okay. All right. Who were they? Huh? No, you're saying it right. Be sure. Be very sure. Okay. And they were nomads. Everybody knows what nomads are, right? They're people that what? Right. Move from one place to another. And so they had no permanent home. They were known for something very strict that they upheld. And what was that? Not what? Right. They did not drink wine. They lived in tents. They didn't plant the land, and they obeyed these rules for like 200 to 300 years. Why? Because an ancestor, because someone older gave this rule, and they kept it. Isn't that something? And I was saying, living in tents and, having this rule of not planting and not receiving the food and everything, most of us would be complaining, definitely complaining, especially living in tents. How many of you have ever gone camping? Okay. How did you like it? Uh-huh. Okay. You're honest. Uh-huh. Cold. Okay. Yes. You're outside. Right. It's cold. Uh-huh. But these people didn't complain. For 200, 300 years, they did this. Okay. So then Jeremiah was instructed by the Lord to do something. And I'm going to call it a test because we know God doesn't tempt us, right? That's the word. So, but often we go through tests. All right. So what was the test that was put before these people, the Rechabites? What was the test? It's on.
Jeremiah went to them and told them to drink wine. And they said, never.
Never. Never. He set these pots full of wine in front of them, and he said to drink it. And they refused. He said, we are not going to drink it. Now, when we talk about this drinking of the wine, we talked about how some other people have these strict, rules, and we mentioned some of these people with the strict rules, and we mentioned the Amish people. You all talked about other groups of people that have, certain rules that they go by, and they're still doing it. All right. And when we talked about the wine, we said wine in the book of Psalms, the 104 and 15, associated with the blessing of the Lord. And it's used for sometimes celebratory occasion. We even talked about how the wine is used in some churches, actually wine or grape juice. So it's used for spiritual reasons. But sometimes people abuse wine. And we talked about one incident, and I know Sister Emma remembered because one night she called me and asked me about this. In Genesis chapter 9, verse 20 through 23, what is it talking about? God bless you. Talking about the wine and who abused the wine. Somebody read Genesis chapter 9, verse 20 through 23, please.
And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his